there it is. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Trailblazing Leaders. What's up? It's Feature Thursday with your no bullshit best friend, Brittany Marie. I'm Debbie Pace. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're bringing it to you a day early this week, just to fuck with you. Just kidding. We're bringing it to you because, well, schedules and stuff. So I'm hoping that you can join us for the live broadcast. If, though, you don't get to join us for the live broadcast and you're watching the replay, thank you for checking it out. Because just like all of you amazing leaders, Brittany has an awesome story to tell, and you don't need to listen to me anymore. You see my mug plenty of times, so let's get right into it and talk with Brittany. So, Brittany Marie, please tell us what it is that makes you our no bullshit best friend. Your turn.
Well, there's a lot of things that make me your no bullshit best friend, but I would say my favorite reason to give is that I don't tell you what you want to hear. A lot of people don't like that, but people need it, right? And I'm not afraid to do it. I mean, I had somebody message me yesterday with a little crisis, and I was like, sorry, honey, it's not for you. This isn't your thing, you know? But I do that, and I do it from a loving place. It's not from a place where I'm like being a total asshole and like making you feel terrible. You know what I mean? Like, that's not constructive. So essentially I kind of figured out, like, oh my God, when I was like 14, 15-ish, when I was going through all my own shit, my best friend needed somebody there for her who was going to, hey Mila, was going to stick up for her because she had cystic fibrosis. And I was kind of the asshole dragging her down to the nurse's office every day to take her meds when she didn't want to. So I take care of you, but I don't tell you what you want to hear, but I love you. So that's where like the whole you're no bullshit best friend stems from. Well, thank you. Thanks, Mila.
All right, so I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to hide that, get myself in here. All right, wait, hold on, do it this way. Woo! All right, so I'm playing. I'm sorry, I like to play with buttons. All right, so Mila, what's up, sister? So, okay, look, there's some cool, it's telling me there's hearts here. I'm going to press a heart and see what happens, okay? Let's check it out. I'm going to press a heart. Oh, look, we're in a heart frame. How cute is that? I'm sorry. You gotta play. It's Heart Week. All right, here, let's try this one. Oh, it's like romantical and stuff. Oh. All right, hear this one. Oh, they're just, oh, the rest. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that one. We should leave that. I think we're going to keep it. It's a keeper. You think it's a keeper?
It matches. Yeah, it matches.
All right. So thank you guys very much for playing with us today. Okay, here we go. All right, so say hello. Besides Mila, hello. Thank you for joining. Who else is on here? I see we have a few viewers, so don't be shy. Step up, show up, and let us know you're here. And that way, if you have any questions, because Brittany can only be with us for about like 15 more minutes or so. Did I do the math wrong? No, I did it right. Okay, about 15 more minutes. If you have any questions about what a no bullshit best friend is or does, or you have any questions about Brittany's story, or I don't know, you just have random questions, whatever. It's Feature Thursday, so you can ask whatever you want. Feel free. And we've got about 15 minutes to answer any questions, say hey, to chat. Also, if you've got some kind of struggle going on in your life, please drop it in. Let us know what you're struggling with, because I'm sure between the two of us, we've got like a lot of no bullshit answers for you. And oh, Brittany also. So guys, drop your questions in. I'm like so excited to have Brittany on here. Tell us about what's going on with you this weekend.
Okay, so, and I may or may not be slightly exaggeratedly excited about this, but so I'm hosting my very first webinar, and it's called You Survived, Now Thrive. It's geared more so to men and women who survive sexual abuse, rape, assault, that kind of thing. And this is kind of like an aftermath workshop webinar type deal. We're going to talk about boundaries. We're going to talk about forgiveness and moving on. And we're going to talk about effects on future relationships. Because those three things are like I guess like the biggest, heaviest things for survivors to deal with. And what's cool about it is it's not just for survivors, but it's also for anybody who's been through a traumatic experience, because all of these three things specifically can really help you step into your own power and realize that you don't have to live in that like shitty spot, that you can be and do whatever the hell you want to. So that's going down Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have a very special guest, Miss Debbie Pace herself.
Yay! And Mila will be there. Yay, Mila!
Yes.
I can't wait to see you. Yes.
I am so stoked about this.
It's not artificial excitement, by the way. I'm just naturally just excitable, which is kind of ridiculous, but I'm not always like this. I mean, trust me, Deb's got her crying game face, okay? I definitely have my moments, but, you know, the bounce allows you to fly high, too. So I was interested in what you said about relationships. I think sometimes when people talk about trauma and survival and then moving beyond that, they forget that there are people in relationships, or a person in a relationship might forget that or not realize that it has such massive impact on your current relationship that you actually can't hide and you can't pretend that things didn't happen to you. And if you're not addressing what's healthy for you now and boundaries for you now, you might consistently find yourself falling back into that place. Can you address that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually come from like my own experience with this, because I was raped and molested when I was younger. And I know it's a heavy topic. If you don't like it, tough. I don't really care. It needs to be talked about, and I'm ballsy enough to talk about it. So
yeah, it happens. Sorry, turn your blind eye, but you know, it does happen more than we would like to think.
Exactly. So I stem from my own kind of experiences with that. I've never been one to really be quiet about my experiences, but it really takes on a different beast, if you will, when you're in an intimate relationship. So I will have flashbacks and triggers and things when I'm with my husband. And the one thing that I found was that it is so, so, so important for me to know where that line is, and not cross it myself and not allow my husband to cross that line. And to
Yay!
Ah, there you are.
I can go back now. I'm sure I missed all kinds of awesome stuff, and I'm like, no, let me back in. I want to go back. I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure what everybody heard because I saw that Sherry popped up and it said that the video cut out for her, but I'm not quite sure where. So I'll just insumation this, if I can talk. So the effects on relationships, like where I'm coming from with that is knowing that I have to set my boundaries and I have to abide by my own boundaries as well as enforce those boundaries, and realize that my husband's not going to understand where I'm coming from with this shit because he hasn't been through it.
Right.
So it is a two-way street, as cliche as that is, but it is a two-way street because they have to understand and you have to let them understand by talking to them about it. And most importantly, like the trauma and the shit that you go through and the effects on the future relationships has a lot to do with your effect, the effect on your relationship with yourself. So if you're not being true to that boundary that you set, whatever the case may be, whatever that boundary is, if you're not being true to that, you're not going to be able to step fully into like that power spot, right, and come back to it and get to the point where you're like, yeah, I can fucking do this. And that's where I want to get, survivors too. I want to get them past their surviving point. I mean, honestly, it was Amethyst who kind of said this to me and it stuck. And I was like, shit, you did it again, Amethyst. She said she doesn't want to be a survivor because it's insinuating that you have to survive all the things that happen to you in your life. So that's why I started saying that I'm a liver. I live.
Which I love, but it's like, I love to eat liver. And I know it sounds sick, but whenever I see it, I'm like, it's so wrong that I see this, and I'm like, and I keep, like, I see both sides, and I just feel like, oh my God, like I love that you're putting a different spin on it, but I'm like, there's also that juvenile in me too, we all have to have that, I think, in order to survive online. So, it is, I use humor to diffuse difficult topics. It's tough, it's heavy, but it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And as a trailblazing leader, clearly you saw that there was a need to address it. So I love that you were bold enough and brave enough to use your own challenges and your own learning for something that's very vulnerable and can be difficult for a lot of people to talk about and even just step into the light and show. How would you say that leadership showed up for you in this? How do you feel that you are a trailblazing leader by what you're doing, by what you've overcome? I mean, it kind of speaks for itself, but I like to get your version of it as well.
No, this is actually something that like I think about a lot because I don't really see too much of this going on, what I'm doing as far as, helping survivors after the fact. There's a lot of help during if things get reported, which is another issue unto itself. But I actually, when I was doing Unique, they had the Unique Foundation, which helps childhood sexual abuse survivors, which is one of the things that obviously right off the bat, I was like, I love this. This is amazing. And we were doing a month of the Defend Innocence, and it was to raise awareness for childhood sexual abuse. And I shared my story for like the first time publicly, as far as like being on Facebook. So there was no hiding and everything came out. I probably received that first day 2 people who told me that they were abused and had never told anybody else. I've gotten random calls while I'm out shopping of somebody telling me that they just realized and they just remembered shit that happened to them and they didn't know who else to turn to, so they called me. So for me, yeah, exactly. It's really heavy. And like, I'm so humbled and honored by that. And at the same time, it breaks my fucking heart. Because if you feel that I'm the only person you can go to, there's something wrong with the fucking system. And I want to change that. I want to fix that.
Right. So leaders obviously look to change things. I think that's like the number one
Right?
sign of a leader is A, the need for change, 2, change it. What does that take from the standpoint of someone who is a liver? I don't see what I did there. A liver, a thriver. What does it take to really affect change? Where do you start? Because so many people think they're not leaders because they get overwhelmed and then they just don't do anything. But I think being a leader is you see the need. You want to step up. Just because you may not know just yet how to do it doesn't make you not a leader. It just means you need more information, or maybe, you're not quite there yet. So how would you say you've seen that shape up in your life?
By pushing past it. Because I kind of think of like a bullseye. We have that little center spot where we're all comfortable. Nothing hurts us. Nothing happens. We're just.
Tana says, "Hey, gorgeous. Did you see Tana's in here saying hello to you? How pretty you look today." All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We all have like a 3. This is the way I picture it. I'm a very visual person, so I say, visually how things look to me. We have a bullseye, and it's a 3-layer bullseye. The center of that, nothing hurts us, nothing gets to us. We're safe. It is what it is. Outside of that, we let people in, we let them see a little bit, but not too much. And the further we go outside of our little zone, out of our bullseye, the more vulnerable we have to be about what people see about us. So what was the question? I was just like,
well, I think, from being a leader, I know there's a lot to talk about.
Right.
But I'm doing clock management right now, so I'm not going to get too deep. When we see that something needs to be changed, as leaders, we step up and we start affecting that change. How are you doing that?
Okay, so I am my own steps. I'm, going further and further outside of my bullseye. I know that I still have a lot to do, and I don't try to pretend like I'm like, there, I've done it. I've made it. I'm healed. No, honestly, I don't think I'm ever going to be healed. However, that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop trying to be healed and to help heal others. So when you're being a leader and you're not quite sure if what you're doing is even effective, push past it. Keep going. Don't stop. Because there's going to be somewhere along the line that someone's going to be like, holy fuck. That is exactly what I needed to hear today. And you're not going to get to that point if you just stay in your little bullseye.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks out there who believe that we teach what we need to heal. So the fact that you're doing this, even though I think that you say you may never be healed, I think that just the process of helping others heal does heal you. You may never forget, but I think that as you heal, and I know in my life it certainly worked that way, that as I've helped others heal pieces of their lives, some of those pieces are also pieces that I needed to heal, which I have then done because of walking through the process. And how many times do we hear people say, and I'm not just talking to you right now, by the way, because a lot of times we do, we just need to hear those things in our head come out and speak them. And then we're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. So as leaders, we need to not only give advice, but follow our own. So I know that you are under some time constraints today. So in good clock management, unlike some of our football teams, I'm going to go ahead and give you some moments for last words. Is there anything else that you would like the viewers to know about you, and where can they find you?
Okay, so I would say that, there's a lot you could know about me. I'm an open book. For this stage of my journey, I'm an open book. I'll put it that way, right? But you guys can find me. I have my own group called No Place for BS. It is a closed group because we get pretty deep in there. But come over and join us. You can find me at BrittanyMariePetersheim.com, which I know is a mouthful. But Google me. And let's see, I have my business page, Brittany Marie, your no bullshit best friend. Yeah, I'm like everywhere. Thank you, love. Thank you.
Did I get that right? That Brittany Marie Petersheim. Did I spell it all right? Okay.
You did. You did.
I love playing with toys. So yay! All right, I'm gonna drop this down. Anybody can freeze the frame watching the replay. And always, I mean, you're in the group, so if anyone has questions, they can reach out. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Brittany, thank you so much for coming on here. A little bit more insight into who you are, what makes you such a trailblazing leader, and our no bullshit best friend. All right, so I know you need to get out. You've got to go places higher and higher, right? Yep.
Well, and it's the mom game, so mom life always comes first. So I got to go pick up my dude from school now.
Amen.
So I'll see you guys in a bit.
See you around the group, Brittany.
All right.
Bye.